Never bury your enemies alive.
Hey, welcome back lads. So we have another leak about the Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer, and this one is a little unexpected if you ask me, and it's also not exactly good news. So yeah, let's get right into it. The leaker on Twitter, Bobnetwork, is back at it again, and he had this to say. Unsurprisingly, the combat pacings feature from Vanguard is not returning in Modern Warfare 3. Ah, damn, well, that kinda sucks. Bob said unsurprisingly, but I am surprised because I thought we would see the combat pacings return in this game because, well, it just makes a lot of sense, and this is something that the game really needs since it's full of old school remastered multiplayer maps from the original Modern Warfare 2, which are pretty big maps overall. So yeah, if you don't know, the combat pacings from Vanguard was a feature that basically allowed you to play multiplayer in two different ways. Of course, the standard 6 versus 6 or Blitz, which was teams of 14 versus 14 players, but it still played on the regular multiplayer maps. So essentially it's just a way to fill up the maps with more players, making a faster paced, chaotic, experience, I guess. Even the larger maps become something kind of like Shipment, where there is action around every corner. So it is unfortunate that this is not going to return. I think it's probably the best thing that Vanguard did in general, the best thing it added. And of course, another reason why we thought that would return is that Modern Warfare 3 is different from other Modern Warfare games because it is being developed by a different team, Sledgehammer Games, who made Vanguard. So you just kind of put two and two together and you thought it would return. Yeah, right, so there needs to be some kind of replacement or equivalent for this, some kind of larger scale player-based mode that will probably be in the form of some playlist. Like how right now Modern Warfare 2 has the 10 versus 10 playlist, and the old school COD games had, well, old school Ground War, which was 9 versus 9. Modern Warfare 3 needs an equivalent because, as I said, all the maps are from the original Modern Warfare 2 that in general, COD back then was different. The maps are so much larger, more open, longer lines of sight, more messy, more camper friendly. You look at some of the map layouts and there's just so much kind of useless areas, and I love Modern Warfare 2, I love those maps, but that's what I'm saying, just that was over 10 years ago, so things, expectations, the COD game in general has changed, so I know a lot of people aren't going to like those maps and it might not play so well in, 6 versus 6 in today's COD, which is why you need some kind of larger scale thing, and that's why I think something like a 10 versus 10, 12 versus 12, or even up to 14 versus 14 would work so well on some of those maps, like some of the larger maps like Derailed or Estate, there'd be some massive battles, it'd be really cool, and in a way I think it would be kind of Combined Arms from Cold War. Oh, and by the way, I'm saying that this 10 versus 10 playlist or whatever it ends up being needs to be there from day one and needs to be a permanent playlist, not something that is added randomly at some point as DLC and then disappears and then returns again. No, it needs to be there all the time. I have a pretty good example about what I mean about the maps. Is my favorite map of all time is Terminal from the classic Modern Warfare 2. So yeah, I can't wait to see that return in Modern Warfare 3, and back then Terminal was considered a medium-sized map, a more regular map, but if you were to take Terminal and put it into a lot of the newer COD games, it would be one of the larger maps, or maybe even the largest in some cases, because over time Call of Duty maps have become smaller, more narrow, more restrictive. So yeah, a lot of these classic maps returning in Modern Warfare 3 will be outdated by kind of today's standards or the newer Call of Duty player base, the newer generation of fans. So to make those maps flow better and fill them up with more players, bigger maps, more players, then it'll be a better experience, I guess, that's the point I'm trying to make. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see how that actually works out. So yeah, stay spicy and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.